Hello my fellow gamers and welcome once again to my SimCity video tutorials. Now in this video I would like to start over with the multi-city video tutorial. Now why do I say start over? Well, this is why. My first multi-city video tutorials were meant to show you how to make 3 interconnected cities with different specializations all working together and being profitable, each on their own account. One was a mining and then refining and fuel production city, one was an education and processor production city, and the third was a tourism gambling city. Each of these cities on its own is profitable and is successful, but they are all mostly medium and only a few of their buildings are high density. Now, these 3 cities were never meant to go to full high density and be cities with hundreds of thousands of population. Since I rather like my creations and do not wish to destroy them by going to high density needlessly, I am not going to continue my multi-city video tutorial in this 3-city region. There is also another reason, and that being that 2 of these cities only have one entrance and exit from the city. That is mostly the underlying cause for the ruination of cities in SimCity 2013. Because cities in SimCity 2013 simply cannot sustain a huge population with high density by having only one entrance and exit from the city. You simply need 2 ways of getting in and out of a city if it's going to be highly populated. That is why you have to go back to one of my core principles and plan ahead. If you want high density cities with huge populations and if you want an entire region full of them, you simply have to find a region that has the abilities to sustain those cities. Their traffic needs more than one way in and out of this city, so you have to first find a region that is acceptable enough to be built as a multi-city region with high density cities. So that is the first point you have to acknowledge, that before even thinking about building a multi-city region with high density buildings and huge population, you need to find a region that can serve that purpose. So let us all wave goodbye to this region, as we are no longer going to have any video tutorial in this region. There are only 2 maps, and on those maps there are only 2 spots where you can really make a multi-city region a working and effectively connected multi-city region without your cities stalling in traffic. That is Whitewater Valley and Titan Gorge. On Titan Gorge, only this spot on the left top side can be used for that, while in the Whitewater Valley you can use almost the entire map. If you look at the Whitewater Valley region more closely, you can see why. These 3 cities on the right side all have 2 entrances and exits out of the town to the highway, and also this 4th city on the left has those as well. Only the city in the center does not and has only one entrance exit, which means that that city is your worst candidate for going full high density and maximum population, while the other 4 cities can be quite successfully connected and made into a multi-city region with high population made of high density buildings. As I said, the other region is the Titan Gorge. On its left corner you can see 3 cities, and each of them has 2 exits and 2 entrances out of the city, which means that that is also a good spot for having a multi-city region. Now this region is more limiting than the Whitewater Valley because you can make only 4 cities that are interconnected by a highway, and they are only connected with the other clusters of 4 cities by trains. The choice between these 2 regions is ultimately your own. You can go and scout the other regions, but you will be disappointed by the small number of cities that are close together and have 2 entrances and exits out of the city. Because out of these 2 regions, the Whitewater Valley has more available cities that have 2 exits and entrances to their cities. Therefore, my next multi-city video tutorials are gonna be concentrated in this region, and this is where I will attempt to build that huge population between multiple cities. As I told you before, planning is essential to having a successful region. That is why I am first going to go into this region in sandbox mode, and I want to see how exactly am I going to plan out building this region, and I need to also see which is going to be my first seed city, in which I'm going to make quick sim allowance and have enough money to be able to build all these cities simultaneously, one next to each other, while they are going up from low to medium to high density, therefore making sure that none of these cities will outpass its neighbors and create a problem for them in traffic on the highway network. Like I said, the greatest enemy to your high density, high populated region is traffic. Because these cities are all connected by a network connection of a highway and a train transit system, you're going to have to heavily rely on those to get your people moving around. You're also going to have to arm yourself with every trick and tool that I have shown you, or that you know by yourself, or that other people have shown you, in order to create road networks inside of these cities, which are going to prevent these cities becoming gridlocked when they reach high density. I would point you now to two of my videos that can help you with that. One is my second video tutorial on planning, while the other one is my video about terraforming with roads. Both videos will supply you with a lot of needed knowledge to create road networks inside these cities, traffic jam proof. Now, the next step you need to do is to plan out your entire region before placing a single building. This is where you first need to choose your seed city. I'm going to choose this plot here because it kinda has the ugliest setup of roads connections. It has only a single road connection to the highway network. It does have resources, and it is going to allow me to gain a quick buck and have a lot of simulants to spend in order to fix these other cities up before even zoning a single house. The second thing that you should know is that if you are going to use a plan like mine and play in normal mode, earn a lot of money from a single city and then expand to the other 4 cities, this city is going to produce a lot of pollution. Now, a nice handy trick I found during my video tutorials is that in order to get rid of pollution that you create in one city and export to the region, you need to just claim a city and run it in cheetah speed until the air pollution you have created in the region simply runs its course and goes through your city. It may take several months depending on just how much pollution you create in your main pollution city, but ultimately any city you claim will end up being clean of pollution if you just wait long enough. I'm now going to spend quite a lot of time planning out all these 5 cities and their road network connections inside them. In my next video, I am going to go through each of them in the sandbox mode and show you just how I envision them to look like. Then, once I show you and explain to you why and how, I'm going to start actually building this region in a normal mode. So thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more.